Welcome to Homestead HQ, where we talk about homesteading and preparedness. My name is Shelly.
And I'm Jason. Today, on today's podcast, this is our first episode that we're starting. We figured with our first episode, we would come to you, kind of give you a backstory of how Shelly and I met and how we got to this point in our relationship, being friends with each other, stuff like that, the things that we've started doing, and the reason we wanted to start a podcast. I was one of the guys that started Kentucky Sustainable Living about three years or so ago. We've got a group in Kentucky, kind of a mutual assistance group. And I met Shelly through that. It was funny. One of the guys that is in the group, he was saying something in chat. He was like, these two people came over and were getting pigs from us. And he was telling us the whole story about it. And he was like, they could only get one pig, and it was kind of a weird deal. They were having a hard time getting a pig loaded in the trailer.
It was a hot day, and it turned out to be a hot mess.
Yeah, and he was telling us this, and I was like, who are these people? He was like, I don't know. He said, they said something about a YouTube channel, two crows or some kind of crap he was going on, and I was like, okay. And then I was driving, and I saw something pop up on Billy's channel from Permapasture's Farm, and Shelly was on there. And then I saw Two Old Crows Homestead, and I'm kind of putting two and two together, and I'm like, hey, this is the person that was picking up the pigs from one of our members. And I'm like, they live in Kentucky. They're fairly close to me. I was like, I need to contact these people and see if they want to join our group and that kind of stuff. And then Shelly, tell everybody kind of how that went.
So when So we went out to. So Jason has a group page for Kentucky Sustainable Living, and I had been on that group page for, I don't know, a year or something like that. And every once in a while, I would make a comment, and Jason would comment back and say, "You need to get vetted. You need to get vetted in our group." And at the time, I was like, I know what getting vetted means, but I was like, how does that, what do you mean I got to get vetted? I'm just in a group on Facebook or whatever. I had no idea what that was all about. So the guys that we got the pigs from, they had posted on that group page that they had these pigs for sale, and I, messaged them and all that stuff, and we made arrangements to go pick up a breeding pair from them. And when we got out there, he was like, so are you vetted in the group? And I said, so that's really a thing? Like, what does that even mean? And he said, yeah. He said, what that means is that, when we have meetups and stuff like that, that everybody has had background checks done and all that kind of thing. And it's safe to bring your kids and all that. So I kind of understood where he was going with that. And I said, oh, okay. I said, so I might try to do that. And so we get out there. We were only able to pick up one pig. It was a hot day. It was horrible. And we get back home with that pig. And so that was a Sunday. And so it's like 9:00 at night or something. And I get on, you can get on the KSL group page, and there's an application to get vetted. So I fill out that application. Actually, I want to say I filled it out when Randy and I were driving home with the pig. So I'm filling that form out and everything, and I submitted it. And then I'm laying in bed. It's like 9:00 at night, and I'm on Facebook just looking at stuff, and this message pops up in Messenger from him. And the only reason, like, it had the little KSL symbol, the little brown thing with the sheep in it. And he says, I could probably go back and read that because I haven't deleted any of that. I don't delete those messages. But he was like, he messaged me and said, something about, you asked me about picking up a pig or something. And I was like, what?
I was trying to make sure that was you. So.
But so I'm laying there in bed and I read this and I'm like looking around my room going, how did he know I picked up a pig? What the crap is that all about? So
I got insiders.
Yeah. And so I was immediately freaked out. Had no idea, didn't know. And all I kept thinking was, this is the guy, because I recognized the little sheep. I was like, this is the guy that kept telling me to get vetted. And I'm thinking, okay, I tried not to panic, but I ain't gonna lie, I did panic. I thought you were a freak. I had no idea how you knew that I was like picking up pigs or whatever. And then without even, like, I didn't even respond, he says, so do you know Billy from Permapasture Farm? And I was like, it's just getting weirder. And I said, yeah, I know him. And I said, he's a friend of mine. And he was like, well, I saw you on a video with him. And I said, how do you know it's me? And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, well, he must have, I mean, I'm trying to reason out in my mind how this is happening. And I thought he must have read my application. But on my application, I go by a different name. So my real name, I go by Shelly. That's not my real name. And on the application, it had my real name because, you know, it's a background check. You have to have all of your stuff or whatever. And then, so I'm thinking in my mind, well, he must have read my application and that's how he connected this. But then I'm like, but that's not my name. How would he make that connection that that's me or whatever?
Facebook stalk.
Yeah. So, and then he comes back and says, hey, the two guys you got the pigs from, they're in my group and they told me that, you know, you came today and got the pigs. So it started making sense or whatever. And he messaged me, we messaged back and forth talking about different homestead stuff or whatever, because he was just starting to get into permaculture out here. And he had some questions about permaculture. I am not like certified permaculture anything, but he asked me if I would come over, and I don't even know what was wrong with me, but I agreed.
Well, it was, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel. You've already got yours started.
Yeah, that was
Can
true.
you come down? I had no clue. I didn't know where to start on a YouTube channel, nothing. And I'm like, hey, you've already done it. You've been there, got the t-shirt so far. And I'm like, can you help me start this YouTube channel? And you're like, I guess. And so
it was scary.
So like I told my wife, I'm like, Shelly, well, no. Yeah, because we met. I was like, Shelly's coming down. I explained to my wife who you were. I was like, Shelly's coming down. We're going to do my intro YouTube video, and her daughter's coming down too. And she's like, all right, whatever. My wife doesn't care about YouTube. She's like, just do whatever you want and leave me alone kind of thing. And I'm like, all right, cool. So tell them, I mean, like, I've got the shop pretty well cleaned out. It looks halfway decent for the shop.
Oh, well, wait. So, Crystal and I, our youngest daughter, Crystal and I drive over here. And so I live about an hour away from Jason. And we drive over here, and Crystal's going, do you know this guy? And I'm like, nope. And she goes, does Dad know the guy? And I'm, nope. And she's like, does Dad know where we're at? And I was like, I don't even know where we're at, babe.
So Crystal's like, why in the hell are we going?
Right. And she goes, this is the only time she's ever asked me this. She goes, did you bring the gun? Did you put the gun in the truck? And I said, nope. I was like, completely forgot about that. So we get out here, and he lives at a dead end road. And you get to the dead end, and there's just like a gravel drive, and it was completely covered trees on each side. He's kind of cleared that out on the left-hand side now. It's not as congested as it was, but it's like just a corridor of trees up on the road, on this gravel road on each side. It's scary. And you don't see, like, all you have to drive is like, what, 30 or 50 feet or something? It's
97 yards from the gate to the...
And you make a turn, and there's a house, and it's all looks normal. But as you're driving down that little drive at the end of the dead-end road, and the dead-end road, like, it's not his name, and there's a sign at the gate that's not his name. It's just all sketch. Every bit of it sketch. I mean, even now when we do festival stuff, I will send out messages to people, and I'm like, you'll get to the end of this road. It looks like Deliverance. You'll be a little bit scared. It's okay. It's Jason's place. So the very first time we came out there, that's what I stopped right there, and I was like, I don't know about this. And Crystal goes, I don't know that I want to be here. Like, we went back and forth for about 15 minutes sitting up there trying to figure out if we were going to come down the driveway. And then we came down, and I was like, oh, there's a house. Oh, okay, everything is cool or whatever. And we get back here, and then Jason comes out, and he's a little bit larger than life and, like, very intense and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah, and so after that, we got to be comfortable. We walked around some on the property, showed you what I had going on, that kind of stuff. And then it's like, let's do the video. So we're setting, and you can go back and look at that video. It's the first time I was ever on camera, anything like that. We're sitting in the shop, and Shelly and I are just kind of talking, and I don't really realize Crystal's sitting here with the phone, like recording. We're talking about all kinds of stuff that should not be on YouTube, probably. And like I'm telling Shelly all this stuff, and then Crystal's like, "This is good." And I'm like, "You're recording this crap?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "We can't put this on YouTube." I was like, "There will be people looking for me if I said some of this stuff on camera." But that's the first time that we met. So it turned out I was an internet stalker for a little bit, and Shelly kind of thought that, but not really. So after that, Shelly came and joined the group. That stuff. What was it, like a week, or was it the next day that I went and helped you get the pigs?
Oh no, that was so. That very first day that we went and got our male pig, and we had to go back. It was like a month later that we went back to get her. And that we had to go.
No, y'all did that on your own. I went when you got like those 4 pigs.
Oh yes.
I mean, it wasn't that much longer.
We went and picked up Wilma, and that was like August, at the beginning of August. And then the people that we got the pigs from, they were selling a bunch of their stock off. So we went, we told them that we wanted 5. Well, I think we went after 5. And we just had some friends and family that we wanted to help out. They had really good prices on those pigs, and we wanted to help them out, getting food in their freezer and all that kind of stuff. So, we came over here to Jason's. Randy and I did.
It was Saturday. We did the food. I had gone down several weeks before to Billy was teaching the Swales class and the Food Forest class, and y'all were down here.
And then we came up here for that class.
Yeah,
to do that class. But we were going to use your trailer.
Yeah.
So when we picked up Jason's trailer. And I'm going to say that this was like...
It was on a Saturday.
I know, but I think it was like the end of August, beginning of September or something like that. But we came and got the trailer and got it home, and then the fuel pump or something?
Water pump.
The water pump went out of our truck. We got it home and then got up the next day. I think it was on a Sunday. We were going to go pick them up. The water pump went out. And we had only known each other for maybe... I think we started talking, or I came out here, I want to say it was like mid-July.
Yeah.
And so this was like the end of August, beginning of September. And I texted Jason and I said, we can't go get the pigs because the water pump went out on our truck. Randy's got to get that fixed or whatever. And he talked to Whitney, his wife, and they were like... We're going to come over and we'll take you to go get the pigs. Now, the big deal about that is Jason lives an hour west of us. The pigs were like 2.5 hours east of us. So the total drive for Jason one way was 3.5 hours. Yeah. And so he basically spent the whole day. He came over, he picked me up, Randy stayed home, he fixed the water pump on the truck. Jason and I went to Eastern Kentucky, picked up the pigs, brought them back to the house. We got them loaded into the place where we were putting them or whatever.
After I tore down your cable line driving through.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that. Yeah. Tore it out. Yeah, because the cable line like dipped down low. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I was driving through and all of a sudden I like saw a line and I'm like, what? And then I stopped it and then the trailer grabbed a hold of the cable line. I was like, oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. So we had to get that fixed the next day, but that's okay.
But that kind of, and my thing was, Shelly told me, she's like, the water pump's busted on the truck. I was like, let me talk to Whitney, see if everything's cool. I told my wife, I was like, hey, Shelly's truck's down. You care if I run and take my truck up there, grab my trailer, and we'll run out there and get those pigs. And she was like, just do whatever. She's like, we don't have any plans. I was like, cool. I'll be back in a little bit. So she was real cool about it. But yeah, everybody was cool about it. And after that kind of solidified. I'm like, Shelly will help me out. I can help her out. And then after that, it was kind of like fast friends. We've done a ton of stuff together now. I mean, as far as school, stuff like that.
All kinds of animals. We've we've gone to some festivals together. We've butchered hogs together. We've at both of our places. And Jason will tell you, we don't like killing hogs, so we get Jason to come over to kill our hogs.
Yeah, Shelly, I always get an invite when there's pigs to kill because, and I kid her about it. I'm like, you just want me there because I'm the hired gun and I'll shoot the pigs. And she's like, no, I like you coming up. And I'm like, stop lying. I was like, you just want me to kill these things. And she's
the very first time that you came out and we butchered a hog was Curly. It was. What was he, like 450 pounds or something like that?
He was like 3,000 pounds.
And it took 5 shots to put that hog down.
5 good shots, too.
The first 2, he was in our barn and he broke the gate getting out of the barn after the first 2. And then Jason went and got his gun and shot him out in our backyard, and it took him 3 shots. That hog was huge. And I ain't gonna lie, it traumatized like all of us, even Jason. Jason was like, oh my gosh. And then we had to get something. How did we drag? We put him on a tarp or something and drug him back into the barn or something.
Yeah, we put him on a tarp because the lawnmower wouldn't pull it.
Yeah, he was too big for the lawnmower to pull.
We were done.
Didn't have a tractor.
We were toast by the time we got that pig actually dead and ready to do anything with it.
But we've butchered hogs together. We've butchered a beef together over here. We've butchered chickens. We've done that. We've done chicken processing class. And now Jason and I do Kentucky Sustainable Living, Homesteading, and Preparedness Festival. Yeah. Our 3rd one is coming up in October.
And I'm stoked about that. We'll leave a description. We'll leave a link to the website down there for the festival. Probably, and staying on the topic of butchering pigs, the funniest one that we have ever done. We had a bunch of the KSL members come up. We were going to do 4 pigs in a day. I was not super excited about that, honestly, because it was kind of warm, and I'm like, this is going to suck. Yeah. So I was the hired gun on that. The last pig, made an amazing shot on this pig, and where Shelly lives, it kind of goes down into a hill where the pig pen's at. Mm-hmm. And so I made a great shot. This pig went stiff-legged, made a couple noises, rolled a little bit. Mike Shepard is always the knife guy, so he came down, slit the throat. This pig's bleeding out. It rolls just a little bit more right up against the fence. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I was like, let it bleed out for a little while, and then we'll bring it in. So like 5 minutes later, Mike's like, this thing's still shaking. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, look. And I was like, dude, did you cut the throat good? And he's like, yeah, I did it. I was like, and he's like, look at all the blood on the ground. I was like, there's no way it can be alive. So I was like, give it a couple more minutes. So a couple more minutes goes out, and the pig every now and then is just shaking. And this goes on for like 15 minutes. And finally we asked Randy, he's like, Randy, what's the deal? And it's like, it was up against the electric fence. And we didn't know the fence was on. So every time some voltage went through this electric fence, this pig would involuntarily shake. So we're sitting out there for like 15 minutes watching this pig get roasted by this fence, thinking it's still alive. And then we're like, it's the stupid electric fence. So Randy unplugs it, and the pig's just stone cold dead, doesn't move anymore. And I'm like, how much of an idiot are we? I'm like, this is just...
I had forgotten about that. Yeah, I remember now.
Oh, I've told friends about that, and they're like, that's hilarious. And I was like, yeah, but I feel stupid about it now. So word of wisdom, turn the electric fence off if you're going to kill pigs out there.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, after we met, got to know each other, I mean, I've been to your house several times. You've been here. You're approved. You and Randy are approved on my wife as far as having you over for dinner.
Hey.
She's got one of these weird things that it's like, yes, they're allowed to eat dinner here. So Shelly and Randy have made the dinner list. And some people,
a good thing.
There's a lot of people that aren't on it. So you're right up there. But yeah, so the way the festival kind of started, we were sitting down at Self-Reliance a year and a half ago.
It was the Self-Reliance. It was like late February, early March of 2023?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something. Yeah. Because it was a spring Self-Reliance festival. We were sitting down there, and before that, it was probably 6 or 8 months ago, we had done a live with Billy. And after the live, it was just Shelly and Billy and I talking. He was like, y'all really need to do a festival. And I kind of laughed. I was like, Billy, you must have been drinking. I was like, I've got other stuff to do. And he's like, you need to do it. And I just kind of laughed and let it go.
We were like, no, we don't think we need to do it.
Yeah, it's like we got too much other stuff going on. But we were sitting down at Self-Reliance, and it was you and I and Jake Snyder sitting down there.
Tag was there. I remember Tag from Life Done Free, because Tag was like, you all should do it. And I'll come if you do it. I'll come and speak. And Eric Johnson was there, Porterhouse and Teal.
Yeah, and Eric's like, yeah, I'll come. So all these people are like, yeah, we'll come to it. And I'm like, we look at each other and we're like, okay, we'll start doing this. So then when we got home for the weekend, like 2 days later, we're like, let's kind of start planning this thing. We started looking for venues, stuff like that, and everything just kind of fell in place. And it's like, we looked up like a month later and we're like, heck, this thing might actually happen. So, I mean, we had no idea how to plan a festival, how to plan events or anything, but it all just came together, and I'm like, it's coming together, so it's supposed to be. So the first event was a success for us. I'm tickled with it. Mm-hmm. The second one was awesome. I mean, it grew. We've got our third one coming up October 26th and 27th. It's in Bowling Green, Kentucky at the Ag Expo Center. We're going to have
WKU Ag Expo Center.
We're going to have tons of stuff. It keeps growing every year, and I'm super excited about it. What are the other crazy things that we've done that we can tell?
That won't get us kicked off YouTube.
Yeah. There's been a ton of stuff.
I don't know. We've done classes out here at Jason's place. We've, like I said, helped each other out with different stuff. Jason came over, a couple weeks ago, and we're trying to get our pasture fenced in. When Randy and I bought our place, the people that owned it before us had horses, and they had like T-posts up with wire, electrified wire going around there. But we got sheep, and we're wanting to put them out on pasture, and a couple strands of wire aren't going to keep them out there. So Jason came over and helped out with just figuring out a plan. I mean, a lot of times when you're homesteading, that's the hardest part, is just, you know what you want to do, but you don't know how to get there, kind of thing. So now we've got a plan, and we're trying to get that taken care of so we can get sheep out on the pasture. But it's just things like that all the time. When I have questions, I even texted him this morning. I'm like, can sheep have alfalfa? Just having somebody that you can call and bounce ideas off of and talk about things and say, this is what I want to do. I don't know how to make that happen. And it makes a world of difference. And in our episodes coming up, we're going to talk about building community and all that kind of stuff. It's super important to do that. But it seems like we've known each other since 2021.
It's not even been 2 years yet, has it?
We bought our farm. No, it's been since 2021. Because we bought our farm in 2021. It was like spring. I met you in July. But it feels like we've known each other for like 20 years. Yeah. I mean, seriously. It's like, when it comes to homesteading and stuff like that, preparedness or whatever, if I have questions about stuff, I'm texting Jason. And trying to get ready, trying to do a festival, even though we only do 2 festivals a year.
It's a full-time job.
It seriously is. And we both have full-time jobs, aside from homesteading and festival and all that kind of stuff. So we're in communication with each other at least 3 to 4 times a week, if not daily. When it gets closer to the festival, we're texting
2 or
each
3
other.
times a day.
Yeah. So, trying to get all of that stuff ready. But it's been kind of wild, just, I don't know. We just clicked as friends, I guess.
Yeah. And we didn't plan this. We both got chicken shirts on.
But mine's better. See?
This is the first one in the laundry that I found.
Shout out to my friend Annie. She's my girl. She knows me.
And we're on our coming up episodes. We've got it laid out how we're going to do some stuff. We're going to do some Q&A. If we get questions from y'all can email your questions in. If you want to put it in a comment on YouTube, put a question in there. And then also you can email us questions. Is that email set up?
Hold on a minute. Let me jump on my technology and see.
Well, right now you can email Jason at KentuckySustainableLiving.com. We'll be fine. But we'll have an email set up next week just for questions that if you want to. So drop a question in there if you want to. Do a comment on YouTube, and we'll be happy to answer those for you. And we'll be back soon with some more episodes. Thanks a lot, y'all.